troops, and welcome back to the With Mates podcast. My name is Andrew Grayson, still here in the lovely city of Lincoln. But we're here today to talk about something very, very special. We're here to talk about the finale, the ending, the pièce de résistance that was the last episode of Daredevil Born Again. And we are here in wonderful visual form because that's what we do at the minute. We do beginning and we do end, and we are currently at the end. So joining me this week to talk all things Daredevil, he is the Iceman, Baby Boone, Joseph Boone.
Greetings, Andrew. I shall be icy and I shall be Manny this evening.
He is the Triple Barrel Man. He is Craig Andrew Mooney.
I shall be Mooney this evening. I don't know. I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's only one thing this next man's going to be. He is the smackiest of smacks. He will smack your bitch up. It's Paul Stirrett. Paulie Smack.
Hi, Andrew. This evening, I'm smacking myself.
Love it. And I'm so happy to be here to talk about all things Daredevil. We have been doing this series week to week. There's been a couple of episodes where we've done a couple together just because of recording issues and timing issues and whatnot. Should hopefully start to get a wee bit easier mid-May, I think. We'll find out. Either way, we will be here, and we'll be here for you, and we'll be here for all the good shows. We've got Last of Us coming very soon. We're going to do the first 2 episodes together, because that means I'll be home. I have not yet watched any of The Last of Us. Have you guys watched it yet?
Not yet, no.
I have
Not
watched
yet.
it.
Very nice. I'm waiting till I can get it on a big screen. I've only got this wee tiny laptop that I'm working off just now. So I'm waiting till I get home for that. But we will have that out starting next week. Fuck knows. It'll be out soon. Keep your eyes and ears peeled on the socials. But again, we're here to talk about Daredevil. We're here to talk about the finale of the first Daredevil series in the MCU. If you've not listened to the podcast or watched the podcast before, now is the time for me to give you how this works. We're going to give our top thoughts, non-spoiler thoughts on what we thought of the episode, and then we will get into our spoiler details, into the nitty-gritty details of everything we loved, hated, liked, disliked, all that good stuff. But we will give you a spoiler warning before that happens. Who wants to kick things off this week? Non-spoiler thoughts. What did we think of the finale?
Ooh. Paul, you go first. Mr. Positive.
I was actually rather enamoured with the finale. Very different. What I will say is very different to any Netflix Daredevil series finale. We tend to have not that we were deprived of a massive fight in this, but usually the drama led up to the protagonist and antagonist having a very bloody hand-to-hand battle. And we didn't actually have that this time. We had a battle of a different variety. Some people met up, they reunited, some feelings were had for people, I think, and I overall really liked it. I still think perhaps last week was the best episode, but overall, yeah, it's definitely setting up for a season 2, and I'm here for it.
The one thing I would say, just to kind of come in on, I'll give my thoughts just now then, just because I've kind of interrupted. The one thing I would say is, because it is setting up for season 2, we need to remember this was one season, 18 episodes that was kind of changed, and they've changed it up. But yeah, same as Paul, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think last week's was better, but there was so much about this episode that I absolutely adored. What would you call it? Tweeted out, but I threaded out my thoughts on the With Mates channel that I think this is up there as one of the best.
Threading all over
things.
the place.
Just threaded it everywhere and anywhere that it could go. Yeah, so I put out a post just saying, and on Instagram, I think this is up there as one of the best things that the MCU have done. But I'm taking into consideration, obviously, the conflict to the script, the rewrites and stuff, to make it a cohesive story, but include stuff from the original as well as doing the new stuff. But the violence, they've went mature, and my fuck did they go mature in this last episode. Jesus Christ, some of the kills, some of the stuff that happened. They've brought back Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox's performance is as strong as ever. John Bernthal, the exact same. Vincent D'Onofrio. This episode, I will say, Gandolfini, I see what you guys have been talking about, especially in this episode. So I'll say that. Perfect. Yeah, to me, and Vash, he messages on Threads as well and said he still puts Loki above it, which I think that's a fair argument. I might change my mind eventually to that, But what I will say is the fact that it's even in the conversation with Loki for me tells you everything you need to know.
Loki.
What's wrong, Paul?
Oh,
Loki's great, mate.
Loki.
You're wrong about this one.
Loki was good.
You can wipe your bum with Loki. It's right up there with She-Hulk and all the other.
No,
Paul,
Paul. The
no,
guff.
okay.
I like She-Hulk, but
Okay.
that's a ridiculous thing
Paul,
to say.
remember, single ply and quadruple ply all go in the same place. Remember that.
Oh, is that what I'm going wrong?
Let's
Okay,
not
okay.
fucking turn this into this. Let's not compare it to poo. Daredevil Born Again is one of the best things that the MCU have done, and it's so much more impressive the fact that they had to rewrite it and stuff. This last episode for me, I think, gave us a lot of nice wee kind of interlinks to everything else that happened previously in the series, and it sets us up very much for what's to come in season 2, which amazingly is coming out next year.
Wow.
That was the thing for me. We get season 2 next year. Happy days. Let's come to Joseph.
So I think I've kind of taken a viewpoint of this episode as this is not a season finale, this is a mid-season break.
Oh, Joseph.
Yeah.
You stole my line.
What?
Okay, carry on. You stole
Well,
what
you
I
know
was
what?
saying.
You should have been fucking quicker, Craig.
I should have come in. I should have come in. I should put my
I
hand
think
up. Anyway,
You
carry
should
on.
have, yeah, you didn't. I think it was a very good episode. There was only a few points in the episode that I was kind of like, this feels a little bit weird. I think it has got some of the best performances from both Mr. Barenthal and Mr. D'Onofrio in the season. I'm liking how it feels that the bad guys won. And we're going into that sort of city-state stuff, and it's giving a lot more driving force going into season 2, which I really, really like, because it kind of feels like for me, some of the other sort of Marvel series have been really nicely bookended, and it seems like it's a bit of a stretch sometimes to go into a second season if they're getting one. But I think this one definitely has that trajectory going forward, and yeah, taking into consideration the rewrites and everything, I think this could be so far the best MCU show that has been made. You know,
That is
given all that,
factually correct statement. Just
because Marvel seemed to be trying again,
Yeah.
and I like that.
Again, and I've said this multiple times on whatever various podcasts we've done, the people upstairs have changed back to who we were originally, where it was about quality, not quantity. And I think Kevin Feige was a big thing in this, where he says no, because I've seen a reel, was it today or yesterday, where they were talking about what originally was going to happen. It was going to be much more based in the courtroom, and Daredevil wasn't going to put his suit on until the very, very near end. And I'm like, right. And they have taken stuff from the original script that I have enjoyed. So this isn't me shitting on the people that did the original stuff. Like, there is original stuff that I actually really enjoyed. But yeah, I feel as if they've very much landed. Craig, round us up on the non-spoilers, and then we'll get into spoiler territory.
That's actually interesting. I don't want to jump off what you just said at the end there, Andrew. Just that actually now makes the season in my head make a bit more sense, because I think that implies that maybe, for example, episodes 6 and 7 were kind of more intended to be the finale, and they've like plucked out the courtroom stuff from like the middle of the season, and that now makes things make sense in my head a little bit about what this was actually going to be. But anyway, I digress. I also echo what Joseph has said. I think this felt more like a mid-season finale rather than a season finale. It gave me some things that I wanted. It didn't give me everything that I wanted that I would like to see in a season finale, but I did respect the fact of where the show has been, what it's had to go through, all the rewrites, etc., and we've got to this point. And again, as Joseph says, it sets things up nicely. And I think the model that the Disney Marvel had in the past, as you say, has rightly changed. The reason why, Joseph, it always felt like things were bookended was because that was the intention. Because they said, we are doing one season of every show, and we are telling that story, and we are getting everything out, quantity, all these spin-offs, all these characters. That was the model, and that's what wasn't working. And the fact that they've now come in, changed what's going on upstairs, and they've now gone for the fact, no, we're going to start telling these stories again and having this quality again and giving the time to these characters. They tried it with Loki. It worked. Sorry, Paul. It did. And then they are now going through this model more often, and they're doing it with Daredevil. And it was the perfect, I think, show to try it with as well, because it has been very successful. And as you say, it gives us somewhere to go for season 2. We've kind of given a spoiler away a little bit by saying the bad guys won. It's very Empire Strikes Back. It's very much a case of all is lost. Now where do we go from here? And that's what is exciting me about season 2. That we're going to have to try and get the city back, as it were.
So, with that, I'm going to give you a spoiler warning. If you have not yet watched this season of Daredevil, specifically the finale, now is the time to pause the podcast, head over to Disney Plus, wherever you watch your shows, and then come on back and listen to what me and these three handsome fellas have got to say. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to start at the end.
Okay.
We're going to start by talking about the final stuff, right? Radiohead song. Charlie Cox monologuing. Oh, so good. Fucking, I was waiting on, as much as I love the Radiohead tune, I was waiting on the what I've done. I hope that gets recut into what that is, like the whole Transformer ending. It's peak superhero. It's brilliant. It makes me feel all gooey. The thing and the reason that I wanted to start with the end is because I'm going to praise it for something that I'm seeing a lot of people being negative about it with. They didn't. So the line in it is, "We need an army," and at the end it's wee calf for down the road, and it's Big John's cousin that sometimes is laid roof, and it's not an army. I don't want Jessica Jones. I don't want Luke Cage.
I liked that.
What do you go?
I really liked that. It was just like, because I mean, we're not jumping straight into defend. I mean, the last thing I wanted to see was a bloody Avenger turn up or something. I saw somebody post about that. They were like
Paul's there.
They were just like, oh, he said we need an army. Oh, the Avengers are gonna. It's got to be the Avengers. I'm like, no. Keep
Paul's there
them
peeking
out
through the
of
blinds,
this.
being like, "Those bloody Avengers are on my lawn again.
So this
Fucking get your bikes off my lawn."
The one Avenger I do want, and I implore Sony, right? You kill it with the old console, you kill it with the gaming and stuff. Let Spider-Man be in this series. Let Tom Holland please
one of my
be
biggest
in this,
things.
please.
Well, if
just
Kingpin,
doesn't make sense.
If Kingpin can't go to the movies, bring Spider-Man to the TV show. It's what you've got to do.
But this is the issue: is it's because of these stupid rights and stuff like that.
Tom Holland, Spider-Man does not belong in Daredevil. Born Again, the show.
No,
in this episode,
I disagree.
No.
I disagree.
In this episode, I'm sure we'll talk about this. It's a point I'd like to bring up, but just one part of this episode, a man's arm was chopped right off, like blood gushing. Spider-Man does not belong anywhere near that. Like, that is not Spider-Man.
Paul,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man's done some horrid shit in the comics.
I know, but that is not Tom Holland's Avenger Spider-Man.
But it
Keep
could
him
be.
away.
But this is the thing. I'm not saying that Tom Holland needs to come in and crush anybody's skull or lop anybody's arm. He can still be Spider-Man, because the whole point of Spider-Man, we address it in No Way Home. He pulls his punches. He chooses not to do that. He can do that, but he chooses not to do that. To a further extent, obviously, more than Charlie Cox and Daredevil.
It's not even so much that I know Spider-Man's stronger and he pulls his punch. I'm not bothered about that. It's Spider-Man himself does not belong being around people's heads being blown off or stuff. He's the punch and it goes wham kind of guy, you know, and fights with, and he's pulling his punches. It's not
Paul, in this movie franchise, there's never been a wham. There's never been a biff. like
But the
Nick.
Avengers movie are the movie equivalent of somebody punching someone and it going wham.
Well,
like that's
because that was Joss Whedon, and we don't really want to go down that route. Really. we don't want to touch that with a barge pole. But like, I think Tom Holland Spider-Man needs to be in this.
No,
he does.
I have a pitch for what that would be, actually.
So before we get to the pitch, right, so my whole thing is he's already been mentioned in it, right? I am happy for the Defenders to be a thing, right? I just didn't want it at the end of this episode. Build that out next season. We've got a full season where we can build that out, and this will be one team's writing thing, so you can build that story, introduce Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, whoever else that you want. But for me, I'm like, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, just it makes sense. Especially where we left him at the end of No Way Home. He's starting again. He's got a lycra suit. That's it. He needs to be in it.
My only argument for him not being in it, not that I don't want him there, I think the studio would probably capitalize more on a team up between Spidey and Deadpool or Spidey and Wolverine.
Agreed.
First, because of how big those are and how well loved those are by fans. But Paul, you're
realistically,
wrong,
man. I think the big thing is Marvel need to go and just give Sony a big fucking whack of cash. That's it. It's realistic. Whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing, I don't think Sony give a fuck who you put him in a movie or a show with. It's like, how much money can you give us? And normally I don't like that kind of stuff where I'm just like, oh, just pay them it, just pay them it, just pay them it, just give them it. Just do it.
I like, in particular with this episode, I loved, one of the things that enamored me with this episode is I just loved the violence in it. It was so good. And I think tonally, Spider-Man does not belong in this. And I don't particularly want any other Avengers in this. I don't want Avengers dirtying up my Daredevil. Like it's.
But it's not about dirtying. It's just for again. I get what you're saying about Avengers, right? I'm not asking for fucking Captain America and Bucky and all that stuff. But it's a New York-based story. It's a grounded story. It's Kingpin. We've played again. You've not. I feel for you, mate. I do. As much as I take joy in mocking you, you've never played the games, mate. Kingpin, Spider-Man. Oh, fantastic beginning to the first game. I just think it makes sense because again, you're getting all these memes where it's like Spider-Man's like snoozing while this is all happening and stuff like that. But Craig, give us your pitch.
So, what is Spider-Man? Spider-Man is essentially the not this entire. I'm trying to put this in the right.
He's
context.
a bird. He's a plane. Yeah. He's.
No, but that's Superman, Paul. But yes. But no, so Spider-Man has that hopeful energy to him. He has that symbol to him. And that is, he's the hero that New York needs, right? He's the hero that he's
deserves.
He's doing a Dark Knight. He's doing a Dark Knight.
He has this hero quality to him that can provide hope to the people, which at the minute in New York, in this Daredevil series, is what is needed more than ever. So what I would pitch would be that his kind of involvement in the series would be essentially him showing Daredevil how to become that kind of symbol, and how he is going to become that for the people in his because he is the hero obviously of this story. So that would be Spider-Man's role, and I'd love a raid style episode for the two of them to kind of
that's cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway,
Mr. Mooney.
Yes.
So you said that Spider-Man needs to show Daredevil how to become a symbol of hope, but that would mean Daredevil would have to change his name to something starting with S, because we know that S means hope, doesn't it?
No, he's already changed his name. He's Nightgown Man.
Oh, Nightgown Man.
That was good.
Nightgown Man.
That was good.
Yeah, so again, I just wanted to start with that because I've seen a lot of memes and I feel as if it's like, to me, I was glad that they ended without showing anybody else, but to me, I'm going, I don't think it needs it, but I want it. I want it so fucking bad. I don't think we'll get it, but we'll wait and see. So enough about Spider-Man. Let's talk about Daredevil. Let's talk about Punisher, and let's talk about Kingpin. How do we want to break this down from start to beginning, or you just want to just hit me with your favourite stuff? In fact, no, that's what I want. Hit me with your favourite stuff for this episode.
Punisher, man. This episode, like I mentioned, the violence. There's just one scene he walks up to one guy just chilling. It's a cop. He's probably a dirty cop, but we don't know. We don't get to know because Punisher just walks up and it's a knife right in his neck. Just big blood splatter.
Mate, the splatter was nuts.
And then I mentioned it before. He stabs someone, and then he's trying to get his knife, so he just starts carving through this guy. I think it's his arm. I don't know for sure. And just a big limb comes off of him. Just people being chopped and gutted and all sorts. And I loved it. And then if we're talking about violence, I mean, Punisher was great, but the moment with Fisk. It's so good. That is straight out of, if I'm not mistaken, from Ultimate Spider-Man, because I remember a clip just like that where he comes in. That it's like the massive hands, and they just come and wrap around the head, and the way they done that, and they didn't do it. I don't think they went overboard with it either. Like his head didn't just explode.
I think it was just enough gore. Just enough.
I'm going to think. I think it was a bit much.
Oh,
I was like,
it.
fucking hell. So, to me, I wrote also on that tweet, or the thread, I was like, or the post, I've just got the post. I wrote in the post, I was going, I think this not only lives up to the Netflix, I think it might have overtaken it. The violence has overtaken what Netflix did.
Oh, definitely.
He rips his jaw and, like, I don't know if he, like, implodes his skull or just rips the skin off his... It was nuts. And it's the fact that he dabs it and he's like, oh, right, lads, let's go. Let's do this. And I'm just like, this is fucking mental. There was a point I had to stop and rewind it where Punisher machetes a guy. I was like, he's just threw an axe through that guy's skull.
Yeah.
I love John Bernthal. Also, I've sent it in the chat. I'm sure I sent it into your chat. John Bernthal for God of War TV series. That's it now. That's who I want.
Who would
I want
play,
John Bernthal. Kratos. Mate,
no.
let's see him in Odyssey. Mate,
No,
see him in Odyssey. He's got this big
I
beard.
don't see him.
He just needs to bulk.
I don't see him as Kratos. I see him as the Stranger.
That could work as well, but
Yeah.
I've seen somebody picture him as Kratos, and I'm kind of like, oh, that might be perfect.
He doesn't have the resonance. He doesn't have the resonance to be Kratos.
No, I'll give you the
though.
voice. I'll give you the voice.
I will say
But yeah,
about Punisher. You know when they're in Matt's gaff and the fight kicks out. Why the fuck was all his stuff in slow-mo?
Oh, I knew you'd have a problem with something.
Oh, it was like, okay, Daredevil, wham, wham, wham. Punisher comes in, slow-mo shotgun blast through the window and the guy dies. Then the slow-mo hit to the table and the guy died. It was boring. Speed it up.
Because they're showing you a contrast, Joseph. Daredevil's doing his bum bum bum.
Keep your Snyder slow-mo shit out of this.
Yeah, it was like the first shot, bang through the window, great, and then the slow-mo. It was like the editors had just forgotten to speed the clips up, and I was like, Craig was going on about last time, like gun fu stuff. I wanted to see that. That was not gun fu. That was gun OAP aerobics class.
Can I tell you?
Speed up!
Can I tell you my favourite probably moment of the entire episode? And it's not even like, it's essentially just in my head. It was just hilarious. Again, Punisher related. When they're fighting, and Daredevil just goes, "Frank, no." Like you're just going to stop killing folk now. I laughed my ass off at that bit. Oh my god.
I did kind of pick up that because I really love it just in the stupidity of logic within the universe of like Matt Murdock being like, I've constructed Daredevil, he's my persona, nobody can know that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. Punisher comes along, he's like, Frank, I'm using your given name. This is your Sunday name, Franklin Castle. Don't you dare! You put that gun down, young man. I love it.
Yeah, but everyone knows he's one of the Punisher.
Yeah, I love it. I love it when characters use their real names. That's why is it Amazing Spider-Man 2 when Gwen Stacy just shouts Peter after Spider-Man as he swings away.
And he goes, Well, that's
Yeah,
somebody else.
I love it. I love shit like that. But yeah.
So just to push off what you're talking about, I adored the banter between Punisher and Daredevil. I've seen people being like, "Oh, it didn't hit the resonance of the speech on the rooftop," but I'm like, "Yeah, nothing's got that." Was fucking iconic, like the stuff in the early Netflix. However, see the stuff where he was like, "Oh, look, we found the guy that shot White Tiger," which again I really like the throwback to that because it's again that feels like as if it's been quite a while ago. But when he was like, he's like, what, you going to stand in front of this guy? He's like, no, he doesn't. We're not going to do this. We're not going to go. Bang! What about that guy? Is he worth it? And I'm just like, Punisher is such a loose cannon, and I fucking love it. And the thing that gets me excited about him, did we all watch the after credit scene?
Yeah.
Right. So that I've seen somebody tweet as well, being like, if the Punisher one-off that we're getting, it's like a 40-minute one-off. If it's just him escaping from
that's what
there,
I think
just fighting all these cops, fucking give me it, man.
Yeah,
because
that'd
that
be
stuff
great.
as well, like if you look into it politically, now we're not political, but I'm just talking about what we've seen in the show. They talk about how he kind of like fucking ridicules the guys that were wearing. I love how they looked as if they were like doodled on, whereas his just looked so much more fucking badass. And he's just like, you just don't know what I stand for, so why the fuck are you following me? And he just mercs fucking so many. John Bernthal, again, we've said it with Charlie Cox. I feel like John Bernthal's the only man that can play the Punisher because he's fucking nailing it, and I can't see anybody doing it better. But yeah, I love the banter between the two.
I'm going to speculate for what Andrew would ideally have for that Punisher one-off. It would pick up immediately where it left off, and it would just be a one take, like a complete oneer of him just going
down the way,
just fucking up things.
I love that.
And then if that did happen, what we would need to do is like do a welfare check on Andrew, and also bring a mop and bucket. Because don't do that. Don't do that.
No. Whether that just made the cut, or Joseph's going to put a wee kind of Paul disconnected symbol, we don't know. I did something that
I'm not
amusing.
the one that's going to be editing this.
Why is my name being brought up for anything to do with that? I don't know.
Because it's you that usually disconnects more.
But not for that. Not for that.
Yeah.
Nobody needed
Listen,
that.
look, John Bernthal gets me excited. What can I say? He does.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, give me that. I'm 100% in on that. Bring it back. Craig, you bring it back to some decorum.
I would quite like to see actually that one-off starting off. You know, he's just out the cage and he's got his hands and he gets a knife, and then he builds up to a handgun, and then like one take in it, and then eventually, then it's just like automatics, bazooka, whatever he gets his hands on, just mayhem till he gets out of there. One take wonder. Do it.
If
Do
they
it.
haven't decided that yet, they should genuinely consider it, because that would be something incredibly impressive to do, and something very fun and new to try, and it's a one-off. So you're spending, you've got the budget to do it, so why not fucking try it?
It's what we've been saying. Like, the Marvel need to be more creative with their things,
Yes.
and it's really showing in this series that they are. They've put down Baby's first filmmaking book, and they're now starting to do so. I mean, like, previous episode, some of the cinematography in that the gala event, gorgeous.
The one thing I'm going to push back on this, right? I feel as if like the Marvel gets really bad stick. I think cinema-wise, it makes some of the most gorgeous Eternals. I disagree. I think that Eternals is a good film. Eternals is a gorgeous looking film. Your man that did Shang-Chi is a wonderful film, and the fight choreography in Shang-Chi is second to none, and I'm so happy he's now doing the Spider-Man movie. If you look at the Avengers, the Russos, again, I get it. Look, but it's not everybody's taste.
I see what you're saying.
I will say that this one has. I say this one TV wise, 100%. I agree. But there was stuff in Loki that was like stunning.
Yeah.
There was stuff like, again, if you look at Secret Invasion, that's the bottom of the barrel. Secret Invasion was just ass. It was television, and it was just thrown together. The story was not coherent, but there was nothing really pretty about it. The thing about this is it looks pretty, but there's meat to the bone. There's a lot of substance.
I
substance to this.
Like, a lot of stuff looks really pretty, But what I'm meaning is like they're now taking, not like risk implies that it's not going to pay off, but they're kind of pushing what they're doing with some of like the way they're filming things and like the way shots are being composed. I
can't wait until these directors get to do a movie, because 100% they'll be doing a movie very, very soon.
Yeah,
like 100%. I hope they keep doing this, obviously, but at some point we'll see them doing a film. Let's talk about. I'm going to bring up a negative.
Like a photograph, or
can we guess what my negative might be?
Is it Karen Page being back?
It's Karen Page.
It's Karen Page. Why the fuck is Karen Page back?
Oh no, not
again,
Karen.
Nothing against the actor. She's very good, and I liked her somewhat, and I think performance-wise, I like her. I think she's a really good actress. The character, not a fan.
Andrew.
And it felt somewhat forced. You know, like, let's bring her back. I didn't feel as if there was a real need for that. The fun moment where he woke up and said Karen's name instead of Heather's name, fucking yeah, because Heather, you saved yourself apparently. Fuck off. No, you didn't.
You know what? I will agree with you, Andrew. I wasn't a fan of her just showing up. However, the way her presence evolved within the episode, I did enjoy. And
I
it was
agree on
nice having that, especially the moment in like the garage, whatever the fuck that was. I really enjoyed those moments there, and having
they were in Glasgow.
Remember? Yeah, they were at garage in Glasgow. Yeah, I liked how it was like, oh, remember the good times, Karen? She's like, they're not so fucking good anymore, Matt. You know, I really enjoyed that, and I liked the way I really liked the way she reacted to being told Foggy was assassinated, not randomly shot. It was really understated, and I think it's a really good performance from Deborah Ann Wall.
Yeah,
she's great, and this is I like it, but to me, I'm just going like, I feel as if for me, because I watched the first 3 series and then watched the first episode, and it was like they're gone. I'm like, right, cool, we're starting afresh, we're starting anew, and they've kind of brought her in and they're teasing it again with more, because I know she was in Punisher, so I'm assuming she's going to probably be involved in the Punisher one-off as well, because they obviously teased the whole his heart rate went up and so did yours, and again, I'm just like,
Andrew, romance.
Paul,
it's what sells. It's what sells the program. Sells. He's a man that can't. He won't allow himself to love, and he's going to love. He won't allow it. He won't allow it, but he will. He will find love again, Andrew. That is why we love the Punisher.
See the bit where they left and it cuts to Punisher and he goes, stay safe, and it's like, why has he said that? Matt can hear that, and I was like, oh, that's good, I like that, nice wee touch. Brilliant. Paul, I disagree, I couldn't give a fuck. And again, I felt as if Karen, I was like, I like the actress and I like the character, but I just felt as if I'm like, there's no real need for the character. It's interesting to see what they do with her going forward, though.
We definitely needed a moment with Karen, I feel, because she was in the first episode. We need to see her. She's like,
I feel as if it would have maybe been, but I feel as if it would have been more poignant in the next season when things got really bad. Like, we're clearly at a midpoint. We're clearly at a there's more to come. It didn't feel as if like he was at like death's door or he had no chance to do it.
He needs somebody. Up a fight. He needs somebody to spur him on to make the army to rally people. He needs.
Yeah, no, I disagree, Andrew, I'm afraid, but I agree with the fact that her showing up didn't like that as much, but as Joseph said, the longer she was in the episode, the more she kind of felt relevant, and I think she has a relevant reason to stay. As in, by the end, there's a
I'm open to
reason for her character to be there, and that's the main thing. She's not been just thrown in because we want Karen Page back. She's found out that Foggy was assassinated. That's not been resolved yet. She's obviously going to stay and help. And also, the city that she loves is also under attack from this nefarious, all the bad guys. She's going to stay and help. So I agree with why she's there. While I'm not a massive fan of the character as well, for the similar reasons to you, love the actress, and I think I'm happy to see how they bring her in for season 2.
I kind of agree. I think now she's here, I'm like, right, okay, she's here, so like, let's see what we do with her. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be in it. I just
prefer
feel
her
trapped.
immensely to Michelle, who I fucking cannot stand.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's the point.
It's weird what they're doing with that character. It's weird, but it is weird. Yeah, it's weird what they're doing with that character. So, I don't know if this is like a full negative. This is more me just thinking out loud, and I want to know your guys' thoughts on it. So let's talk about the plot. So the whole overarching story within this episode was, Matt has found out that Vanessa had put a hit out on Foggy, and the reason for that is Foggy found out that the dock that they're working on is its own territory that is not manned or lawed by. Yeah, it's a free port, so they can essentially launder money and not break the law. And Foggy was the only person that knew that. It seems quite.
Yeah.
We need a reason. Like, I was just like, it's convenient. Like, okay, cool. That's why we're doing it.
I like it. It's a nice little like aha moment that doesn't really it has no longevitous repercussions, but it explains characters' motivations. It's kind of a bit of like a narrative MacGuffin almost, where it just goes like, we need a thing to explain the thing explains the thing, that's its only purpose. Now let's get back to
it's comic booky.
It's comic booky. Let's stop the bad guys from using the thing for bad. It's the Death Star plan. It's
a port that's fallen into disrepair. Nobody's paying it any attention. It's not important in any shape or form, except for there's this little clause in this contract written in 1880, whenever Napoleon, that says, there's no tax here because it's a free port. It's technically not America. So yeah, I liked it. It's not. I'm the master of the multiverse. It's actually a grounded reason.
It's very low stakes. Low stakes, and it's quite frankly built on one of the greatest vices in human history, and that's greed. And what more incentive does a bad person need than greed to either get more money or more power or wealth or fame or whatever, and which you can even take it down to like a level of like the two characters, Kingpin and Daredevil. Kingpin, vice, greed, evil, murder, sin. Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Holy Ghost, Jeebus, the baby Jesus, and making things better. The divinity versus hell, that sort of shit. Or like
this. This has been your Bible stories this week by Joseph Boone.
If you have any issues with what Joseph said, please write in to @WithMates podcast.
Yeah, so like to me, I kind of get where you're coming from. I like the fact that it just seemed convenient to me. I don't have an issue with it, but I was just like, right, okay, that's why we're villains. Paul, question for you: happy with the relationship status of Vanessa and Fisk?
Oh, I couldn't be happier, mate. Like, see when in the previous episode she put a bullet through that Adam guy's head, like, I thought Fisk would do it, she did it, I'm happy with that. Their relationship's resolved. Right at the end, they're having caviar, they're having prosecco, champagne, they're banging glasses, and next to all the cage, their own private prison, and all their stolen artworks and all their money. And I'm like, I love it. I was like, you know what? These two men started this series, not who they were. Matt was a lawyer. He couldn't be a superhero. He couldn't be Daredevil. He just couldn't face it. And Fisk, you love him. He's trying to turn a new leaf. He's trying to be a new man. But you know what? Vanessa doesn't like this new man. Doesn't like that he went off. And throughout this series, both men have just slowly morphed back into what they are. And now in this finale, what I liked is that not only did Vanessa and Kingpin fully make up once again, and then all thanks to their wonderful therapist as well, I'm sure. Shout out to Heather. But I would
Michelle
say
before.
Michelle, yes.
And that just shows the impact of the character.
Fucking hell.
Because you said Michelle, and I had to think, who could that be? Oh,
and no one questioned it.
It's his missus. Yeah.
We're like, I think we know.
Yeah.
But my point
Michelle
is,
Taylor.
both men have morphed back into their previous old selves and renewed to do Kingpin's in a better position than ever before to go on a crime spree, legitimately under the auspices. That's a good word of the law.
Good word, Paul.
That's a good word.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
a
you.
really, that's a big word.
Thank you.
How much does that get you on Scrabble? Write in, tell us if you're
There
a
we go.
Scrabble master.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just going to do this because I have said if we write anything and people comment on it, I'm always going to read it out. So Matt.Castle203, this is after me saying that I think it is easily one of the best things the MCU has made. It not only matches but arguably tops the Netflix series. If you haven't done so already, make sure you watch the show and keep your eyes peeled for our spoiler-heavy review. Matt replied, it does not reach Netflix quality once, blunt and soulless attempt to continue a once great show. Now, the reason I'm reading this out is because if that is how you feel, please reach out to us. Please comment on this video, comment on our status, and let us know, because we want to know your thoughts. Again, we get that we might be being overly positive. I don't think personally we are, but I love a discussion. So if you tell me that you don't like it, if you have it in a pleasant and well-meaning and not you're fucking wrong kind of way, I'll have that discussion. I'm happy to have it.
I mean,
so I
I've
respect
got a
Matt's opinion. I
fantastic
disagree.
response to Matt. I mean, I thought that the first few episodes were rubbish. Really, I was not one of the converted, but I can now see that there's a lot of effort that's been put into this series. I don't think.
Can you smell that? Anyone else smell that?
I don't.
What is it you smell, Paul?
It smells like a smelly take to me.
It's not quite a smelly take. It's quite pongy. It's not quite reached the fragrance of stinky or smelly.
I will not be silenced by this police state for expressing an opinion.
Don't make me try and remember the fucking theme tune. Been a while.
But no, I like.
What's that stench? It's the things he makes. It's just a burning house. Smelly takes.
Mate, not gonna lie, I was humming that to myself like days
mate,
after. It's so good. But no, yeah, like
it'll be back as well because
the series has grown on me.
Takes.
It certainly has grown on me. I think it's. I would agree. It is the best thing that the MCU has done in quite a long time. But I think there's much greater pieces of media out there. For me, Marvel content is like a 6.5 out of 10. For me personally, for things I enjoy.
On the
Like
Joseph
Severance.
level of enjoyment scale, I get what you
Yeah,
mean.
but
I'm going to read out.
You need okay. You for a bit of context, you need to remember. I'm from Aberdeen, where depression was invented. We don't enjoy things.
A man's jaw get ripped off and his head gets split in two, right?
Well,
That's fucking depressing, mate. I'm going to read out Vash as well. So Red Dead United, Richard, who has been on our show, I'm going to try and get him on very, very soon. It's better than Netflix show, but it isn't top for me. That still belongs to Loki series, which again I think is a fair argument. Is there anything else about this episode or the season as a whole that we've not really touched on that you guys want to talk about?
Let's just talk about Charlie Cox for a little bit, shall we? Let's just wax around a couple. Give him his moment. You know, if seeing as it is his show. Can I just say once again,
take it away, Craig.
Fantastic. I mean, just has someone ever better embodied a superhero part than Charlie Cox as Daredevil? I don't think so. I don't think someone has really had this amount of depth for a character in this genre. I can't think of someone else.
I don't know, man. I don't know. George Clooney did a really good job.
We do love a bit of Batman. We know this. Shout out to the 100. Go back and watch that episode. One of the best episodes we did on the 100. So yeah, please go. But it is.
I'm going to agree with Craig, but Matt's journey, Matt's character arc in this episode is my favourite thing about the series. For it to be something that has kind of already been done before in the previous series, they've done it so fresh and so enjoyably. So yeah, Craig, I'm 100% agree.
Yeah, and I want to just shout out again an example of this fantastic acting that Charlie Cox has done. Again, you know me, I love subtlety. I love it when things don't have to be said. When he walks into that apartment and he just has this little smile, that is sublime acting. It tells you everything you need to know. I knew immediately. Punisher's out in the kitchen. Just from his little smile to himself that said, "Oh, he's come," and that is an example of just this guy is a master at his craft. and I just love him. I really love him. Please, just everyone else, take it away. Just he's great.
I had to bite my tongue from saying no. That was me earlier. And I think Joseph.
I'm such a
I think Joseph plugged that as well.
I saw your smells, boys. All right.
But again, I don't know if it landed. I don't know if it made it. I don't know if it made it to the video. We'll find out when it comes out. August.
Oh, he's come.
Yeah. So
That's what the smell was for. That's why
did
he
we spend the
smiled.
first episode? But yeah, to me, I will happily wax lyrically about Daredevil Born Again. I am so excited we get season 2. Have you guys seen the leaked footage or leaked images of what he's going to look like in season 2?
On the Venom suit.
The black suit, yeah. Go more Batman.
I've stopped buying Funko Pops, but feel like I'm going to need to buy that one because it looks so good.
So I've got a thing to say about the new costume, right? And this is kind of one of my a gripe I had with the episode as a whole, with like the action sequences and stuff. And it's a problem I've got with modern media as a whole. I think it was too dark, and I was struggling to see some of the actual sequences in it. I mean, one of the best examples of how to shoot like low lighting is how Lord of the Rings did it. I mean, you can see everything crystal clearly in it, but I think a lot of modern stuff
Justice
now is getting
League.
a little bit. Justice League was perfect, Paul. Everyone loves Zack Snyder,
Black and white.
famously.
If they could do it in black and white.
But I think there needed to be just a little bit more in there for us to see clearly. I get it was in a blackout. I understand the context, but I think something had to be done to just make it a little bit more clear visually to me, because I think I had to rewind that fight to catch some things I missed, and it kind of brought me out of it because of it. But yeah, it's a technical gripe as opposed to like overall narrative structure.
Yeah, it needed to be like Harry Potter.
I feel like that can be
Harry
true
Potter
about
6. You know that's the gold standard, as we know, for shooting in in dark, isn't it? Harry Potter 6, yeah.
What one's 6?
The shite one.
Half-Blood Prince.
Regardless.
The one where you can't see
Half-Blood
anything.
Prince. Yeah. So to me, I feel as if it's hit everything. I think the story was enjoyable. Performances were fantastic, if not phenomenal. The fact that the structure changed and we still got a coherent, fun, enjoyable story. The cinematography at times was stunning. Like some of the best looking television I have seen. Arguably it's up there with some of the movies as well. It's left me, so rather than predicting, because I've kind of got to a point where I've realised we're not very good at predicting, and I've kind of went off it because I'm just like, let me see what you're going to give me. So rather than predicting, and unless you have predictions that you want to give, but my question to you guys is where do you sit for expectations and excitement and how much you're looking forward to season 2, and compare it to where you were pre Daredevil Born Again?
I mean, I think I've done probably the biggest 180 of all.
Yeah.
I, as I said, went into this actively thinking I was going to hate it, wanting to hate it, because I was like, they've changed it. They've changed the thing I liked. They've done it in Star Wars. They're doing it with Daredevil. And then I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I should have known. I mean, to be fair, the Kingpin, not great, and he's in his Echo and whatnot, but in Hawkeye, but they knew what they were doing with this one, and they turned it around. They've turned it around.
Genuinely, I'm not joking. Like, it makes me so happy when Paul likes something, especially when it's something I really like. It genuinely fills me with joy. Craig, what about you, bud?
Well, I believe, if I recall, I said I was a 10 out of 10 excited for season 1 when we had a chat about it. I was disappointed initially. I was let down. As Joseph said, I agree with Joseph. I didn't like the first few episodes of this show as much as I thought it was going to. But my word, did it turn me around and bring me back up to a 10. And I think that I am now back at a 10 for season 2, for sure. I'm really excited.
Love it. Joseph?
Overall, 7 out of 10 for this. it had a lot of hampering from rewrites and having
Sorry,
to.
are you giving the series a 7 out of 10 or your excitement's a 7 out of 10?
Yeah, I was giving the series a 7 out of 10.
What's that stench? It's the things he says. It's Joseph and his smell he takes. That's not a 7 out of 10. Grow up.
My opinion is that it's a 7 out of 10.
That pause got me, sorry.
And my excitement is probably about the same for season 2.
7.
As long as they commit to what they have done, especially in the second half of this series, they commit to that same standard, and they do not get lazy or complacent.
I don't think you'll have to worry about that. I feel as if the reviews and the feedback and everything in general has been really good.
Andrew,
I think having
the shadow of those mouse ears have burned me before.
Mate, I think those mouse ears are no longer that jaw rip.
He's been
Mickey's gone.
de-eared, de-mouse-eared, something.
De-mouse-eared. But yeah, to me, we'll get to scores. So we obviously, Joseph gave it 7 out of 10, which on our scale is a great, which means, again, still a positive review. My excitement is, I'm so excited for this, like beyond belief, so excited for this. I cannot fucking wait. And I'm so relieved and happy that we're getting it next year. For me, this series is a 9 out of 10. I think it's fantastic. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's so fucking good, especially considering what they had to do to kind of change it. Paul, 9 out of 10.
Paul just said 9 out of 10. How everyone stop. Everyone just stop. Listeners, I know you're freaking out. Okay, but
That might be the highest score he's ever given.
That is the highest
by
score.
by far the highest score he's ever given. I don't think I've ever heard him say higher than a 6.5.
You're right, Paul.
Mooney.
I told you they turned it around.
Don't come to me now, Andrew. Paul, explain why do you feel it's a 9 out of 10, Paul?
I mean, they had such a great property with the Netflix series, and they had every belief from me, and I'm sure many others, that it was just going to go down the tubes. They had all the right ingredients, and the cake was going to come out shit flavored, you know. But put that on a t-shirt. But the this time it worked. It worked. Like they knew what they were doing, and in particular for me, I love Vincent D'Onofrio. He's so good as King, but Charlie Cox as well is fantastic, and their performances sell it. But you know, we all know, gents, that there's a lot that goes into make something this good.
Yeah.
And so it must be some kind of change, because it's not. It's just, you watch this and you watch something like Winter Soldier and Falcon or a Secret Invasion.
No. Falcon Winter Soldier is a good
You
series.
cannot even put them in the same league.
Paul, let's not fall out, mate. We're in a nice place together.
So
Let's
Star
not
Wars.
do it.
Star Wars. If you want Paul Stirrett to say something like this about you, step your game up. Okay. And we all know Star Wars. You just want to please Mr. Stirrett. That's all you want.
That's it. That's it. That's all
It's
anybody
the
wants.
gold standard. Like, sod the Oscars, sod the BAFTAs, it's the Smackers. That's the award that you won.
Smackies.
The Smackies.
Smackies.
It's the Smackies.
Is that going to be our end of year roundup pod?
Mate, end of year, we're giving out Smackies.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. The Smackies. Oh.
Hosted
That's
by
what we're
Paul.
And it's just going to be a picture of Paul like this.
Yes.
Like halfway through. That's it. Boys, we're fucking. That's gold.
Watchers,
Solved
you're
world
thinking,
peace.
see
What
the
did we
magic
think?
happening. All right, this is how it happens.
That's it. The Smackies. I'm so fucking happy we've now got the Smackies.
The
Craig, round us
Smackies.
up. What did you think? What is the
So
score?
can I ask Andrew on the scale, what is an 8 and what is a 9?
Let me get it up just now, just off the top of my head. So 8 is amazing, 9 is incredible, 10 is as close to perfect as perfect can be.
I'm going to give this an 8.5.
I think it's incredible.
I'm going to give it an 8.5 because I think
Oh, you little
I think
fence sitter.
I think there was something not quite right because of the it wasn't just because of the mismatch, but
But that's what makes me make it a 9, because I'm going, how did it make so
I'm
much
looking at it
sense?
as a
How is it so
product, as a
good when it
season
shouldn't
as
have
a
been?
whole. As a season as a
Yeah,
whole,
yeah.
I can't give it more than 8.5, I think, but it's been a very, very strong season of television.
Following
And
that
the
up,
best
Craig,
of MCU.
because the next series is going to be a full cohesive thing, would you expect that series to be an 8 or 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10?
I will not be accepting anything less, Joseph. It's got to be.
And that's what you have to be like, Marvel fans. You need to expect 10 out of 10 every time. If they're making all this money off that IP, fucking expect perfection.
Exactly.
So expect perfection, but what I will say is, if you don't get perfection, that doesn't mean it's a fucking 3, okay? If you get a 7, just be happy with the 7. Don't say it's a fucking 2.
Sorry, Andrew, I can't hear you. You're going through a tunnel, mate.
Andrew,
I can't hear you.
Everybody's in first
boys,
place.
I get
That's
more
it.
enjoyment out of Marvel than anybody, so don't give me that shit. But that is all for this week. That is all for Daredevil Born Again.
whoa,
Sorry.
whoa,
It's not.
whoa.
What have I forgot?
There was one last thing.
Okay.
I posed to all of you chaps not too long ago a very difficult, like absurdly difficult question, and I have another one for you
Go on.
just before we wrap up. So I am going to ask you a very simple question here. Daredevil, Born Again, or the Penguin?
Oh,
Penguin.
the Penguin. Joseph, have you watched the Penguin
Oh,
yet?
no, actually, no, wait.
Not seen the Penguin, no.
Oh,
Wait,
Joseph, you'd like the Penguin. You'd like the Penguin, Joseph. Tell you what. Oh, actually, you'd also.
Oh, no, actually, I said Penguin quite fast. I don't know.
That reminds me as well. We didn't talk about Michael Gandolfini.
No. Yes.
Oh,
We will, right, we'll do a wee bit
quick
about him as
thing
well.
about Gandalf.
In terms of the
Post-credit scene
Penguin,
on him.
it's less stuff and less could go wrong. However, in the grand scheme of things, if I'm talking about Daredevil series 1, 2, and 3, and Daredevil Born Again, Daredevil's better. If I only could watch one of these IPs, it would be Daredevil.
Interesting.
But I think
Okay.
Penguin is a much. I'd rather compare to if once we get season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, because that is going to be a very structured. This is what we're doing. I'd rather compare that to.
So,
Because there is, to me, I'm going, there's some inconsistencies and incoherent stuff within this, but it still made me. I still enjoyed it overall.
yeah, I think Penguin is a much more one coherent story and had a clear through line,
Yeah.
and also no episode of the
question,
Penguin
though.
was less than a 9 out of 10, and I am not exaggerating. No episode of the Penguin was less than a 9 out of 10. It was a phenomenal series. So it was, other than Severance, the best show of the last decade. So it's amazing. So I think the Penguin.
You can't just say like.
I've always got
to say
I've always got to bring it in.
decade.
It is,
Brother.
It's up
What
there.
the fuck?
Andrew, it's
It's
up there
not.
with the likes of Penguin,
It's not.
Bluey.
It's not.
Need I say more?
Right.
Michael Gandolfini.
Before we finish, let's give him his flowers.
Yeah.
Let's give him his flowers.
I tell
To
you.
me, because you guys have already kind of said it. I didn't see it, but this episode, I was like, I care about this character. I want to see what we get from this character. The moment when he was addressing everybody in that room, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. But yeah, Michael Gandolfini, I'm very much looking forward to what he's going to do.
I'll put it
in
this
season
way
2.
with Michael Gandolfini. I think that scene alone would have made James Gandolfini incredibly proud.
Yeah.
And that's
that is a great thing to say,
the baseline
Joseph.
for me.
That is a great thing to say. And I
Yeah,
totally
and
agree.
we will
I
end
wholeheartedly
on
agree.
that. We will end on that because it's a lovely thing to say, and it is very, very accurate and true. So let us know what you thought of Daredevil Born Again. Are you as in it as Paul is? Because clearly Paul loves it the most out of all of us. But do you love this show? Let us know what your favourite parts of this show is. Let us know what you expect, what you would love, what's your hype levels for season 2. What do you think the Punisher one-off is going to be? Were you a fan of Karen? Whatever your thoughts are, please get in the comments. Let us know. The more you join in the conversation, the more people will get to see this because of the way algorithms work. I don't know how it fucking works, but if you comment, if you like, and you share it, more people will get to see it, and that's what we need, and that's what we want. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers. Get us to 100 subscribers on YouTube. Tell a friend, tell a pal, all that good stuff, and get involved in the conversation. we will be having a very exciting catch up coming to the show, coming to the YouTube channel very, very later this week, whatever it is we're ordering, because we get to talk about the Fantastic Four trailer, which is a sneak peek. I fucking loved it, but we will be talking about it and we'll be breaking it down and we'll be talking about what we think of that stuff. And obviously there'll be a lot more TV and movie news that come into that. Our Last of Us podcasts will be starting next week as well. So again, as I say, keep your eyes and ears peeled at WithMatesPod on all social media platforms. Joseph, where can they find you?
The lovely people can find me in the free port that is my Instagram page, and the burning wreckage of X. I'm there as well. Probably a blue sky at some point when I pull my finger out my arse. It'll be at Joseph Boone. That's Joseph with an F on both platforms.
Polysmack.
You may find me in the severed arm that is my Instagram, freshly sliced by the Punisher, at Stirrit Story.
Craig Andrew Mooney.
You can find me on all social media platforms apart from the archivally known as Twitter. It's at Craig Andrew Mooney.
And if you want to follow me, I'm at Alpha Grey, but I don't want your follow. Fuck off and don't follow the podcast at WithMatesPod. That's where I want your follow. Follow the podcast on all social media platforms. Make sure you're listening on Spotify and Apple. Make sure you're watching on YouTube at WithMates Podcast. Let us know what you thought of everything we talked about today and any other things you think we should be talking about that we might not be missed. We might try and do a wee Black Mirror episode once I get the time to watch it. That could be an episode that we do very, very soon. And there's lots of movies coming out in the near future, aka Sinners, which we are most definitely going to be doing a review about because that looks fucking great. But that's all for this week. That is all for this time. We hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Latest on the Meiji.
Hey, Red. That was a pretty good finale, wasn't it? Well, Red. It was Punisher.
It was a pretty good episode, yeah? Michael Caine is back.